Hey folks, so here is our little video on Jupiter in Sagittarius. Jupiter has just entered Sagittarius today, and it's already starting with a bang. So Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. It is the ruler of the 9th house. Jupiter is a fire sign. It is a dry masculine sign. Jupiter has rulership over many things, but some real basic keywords and things that are definitely covered by Jupiter are going to be the law, higher education, long distance travel, foreigners. It also covers large animals, so horses, equine, horses, rhinos, cattle, elephants, large animals, also large dogs. So the difference between a Great Dane and a Chihuahua. The Chihuahua is Virgo, or the 6th house, and the Great Dane is Jupiter, which in this case would be the 12th house, because Jupiter is also the ancient ruler of Pisces, and that's going to be very important. We're going to talk about that in this video as well, and that will come into play. Jupiter also rules things like bounty and booty, indulgence and excess, humor, the liver, right? Bile. Jupiter also rules, it's not sugar. Well, we're not going to get into medical astrology. Let me not put that in here. So Jupiter is the philosopher and the clown and the salesperson and the teacher of the zodiac. It is the priest and the shaman. Or the priest and the shaman. Jupiter is very much invested in the big picture and the principles of the things. And it is constantly seeking to expand its territory and see what's over there. So the thing that is challenging with Jupiter and Sagittarius is that Jupiter and Sagittarius, because they're both one and the same for our purposes here, have a really bad case of grass is greener on the other side of the fence syndrome. So this doesn't necessarily mean that this is how they handle their relationships, but that that wanderlust, that need to expand horizons, that overwhelming compulsion to see what's over there. What's over there? I just want to see what's over there. How far can we go before we fall off the edge of the supposed flat earth? Very Jupiter and Sagittarius. Jupiter is the explorer. Jupiter wants to go out and connect with the unknown, the foreign. It wants to expand and broaden its horizons because it wants to know what's out there. So whether it is in the physical sense, with geographical expansion of our territories, people with strong Sagittarius and Jupiter tend to gravitate to things that are foreign to themselves because they want to get out in the world and see what's out there. Or if they don't expand geographically, they're expanding intellectually and spiritually. So also when you don't see them traveling and getting out and mingling with foreigners and strangers in exotic locales, for them, you will often find them in theology schools, like learning about the academic, intellectual, mind expansion of their spiritual practices, or in colleges, the perpetual student who becomes a professor that never actually leaves college, because it's very much about constantly having the opportunity to expand the mind and push out there and broaden the horizons, right? So that is Jupiter and Sagittarius. Now, Jupiter coming back to its own sign of Sagittarius right now is it's a dual-edged sword. Anytime a planet comes back to its own natural sign of rulership, it becomes that much more powerful and that much more true in its expression. So as astrologers, this makes it a little easier for us because we don't have to modify our interpretation of it. It's the expression of it is authentic and true. It's simple. It's simple, right? However, because the planet is back in its sign of natural rulership, it also means that true and authentic expression of itself comes with extremes. So the best of the sign and the planet and the worst of the sign and the planet are all magnified when it's back home in its own kingdom, because you're back home in your own kingdom. Nobody's going to tell you no. Well, you know, they will, but there's a lot less sense of restraint in how you express yourself. So there's that. Now, the other thing that I want to point out is way back in the day. So your modern planets, are recently discovered in the modern world, are Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So before they were discovered, we didn't have those planets. So people used the first 6, 7 planets, like all the planets up to Saturn, and that's where the constellation or the zodiac planets stopped, because we didn't have Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. So a lot of the signs had dual rulerships. And with that said, what that also means is that Pisces did not have Neptune as ruler for a very long time. It did have Jupiter. So Jupiter is the co-ruler of Neptune. So Jupiter, being back in the sign of Sagittarius, being amplified, magnified, and also being the ancient ruler of Pisces, has some interesting connotations, okay? So Jupiter and Neptune both tend to have a little bit of an issue with boundaries, but it's different. So with Scorpio and Aries, you tend to have, because they're very Mars driven, right? So they have issues with boundaries too, but with them it's more invasive. So they don't know or they don't care where they end and you start, because as far as they're concerned, if they can get to it, it's theirs too. But with Sagittarius and Pisces, they have difficulty establishing where they end and you start, or where you end and they start, because all their boundaries are constantly moving, right? So Pisces tends to be more passive. So Pisces has difficulty setting clear, firm boundaries, and people tend to take advantage of that. With Sagittarius, you know, it's like trying to hit a moving target. I mean, they have boundaries, but they're changing regularly, because Sagittarius is constantly wanting to expand its boundaries because it wants to be more inclusive, okay? So with Jupiter back in Sagittarius, there are going to be some there are going to be some boundary issues for a lot of people that we're going to have to address, because while Jupiter is back in Sagittarius, it is also squaring Neptune and Pisces. So Jupiter, the ancient ruler of Pisces, is now squaring in hard aspect, the modern ruler of Pisces. So back at home, we're having a little bit of difficulty with biological dad and stepdad. So there's that. So let's talk about what's good and bad. Sorry, back spasm. Let's talk about what's good and bad about Jupiter. So the good side of Jupiter, it is humor. It is mind expansion. It is broadening your horizons. It's higher education. It is seeing a bigger picture. It is very much about travel and being inclusive and the greater tribe, not the you, me, mine, but the greater tribe of humanity. The other good sides about Jupiter is that Jupiter is tolerant. Jupiter is very much about putting your spiritual ideologies into some form of construct with rules, you know, that people should be following. Jupiter is also very much about forgiveness, as is Pisces, okay? Jupiter is also about blessings. So you'll hear a lot of people talk about how Jupiter is, you know, Jupiter transits, you know, oh my gosh, it's the great Santa Claus of the zodiac. Well, listen, I've been through a few Jupiter transits. I mean, you know, I realize I am only, you know, 20 something. Again. But I've been through a few Jupiter transits in my lifetime as well, and that's not always the case. So if you're having a Jupiter transit and someone has told you, oh my God, well, Jupiter's going to give you great stuff, and you're not seeing a winning lottery ticket, and you're not, you know, getting the great break in Hollywood to be a celebrity actress, actor, whatever, you know, you don't get the marriage proposal you thought you should have gotten by now, you know, if you're going through a Jupiter transit and you're not getting the brass ring that everybody keeps promising you with your Jupiter transit, it's okay. Because that's a very simplistic interpretation of what's actually going on. Jupiter has a lot to do with the benefits or the positive things that we have earned or brought into ourselves through our previous karma. But Jupiter, more than that, has everything to do with healing. So it's not about Jupiter is a reward system. It's very much about things that we are rewarded with in this lifetime, but it's also very much about healing. It's not everything's about a tangible, physical, material reward when a Jupiter transit occurs. So some of the greatest blessings and gifts you get are not physical, tangible things. So keep that in mind. Sometimes we don't know what the blessing or the miracle really is until, you know, it's well past. And we look back and we're like, oh, crap, okay. You don't know your life has been saved until you realize how close you came to losing it. All right. So the bad side of Jupiter, things to be aware of. Again, boundary issues. Jupiter doesn't want to quit. They just keep going and going and going, which is why they're very well known for having a roving eye and wandering feet. And sometimes they forget to come home because they're so busy out there, like expanding their territory. They kind of forget where home is, or that it's been 6 months since they've been home, right? The other thing is that Jupiter, like Neptune, is not real good with responsibility. So Jupiter talks a good game about principle and ethics and integrity, all those high-minded things. But when it comes time to clean up after the party and do the dishes and, you know, mow the lawn and, you know, inconvenience themselves with the tedium of life, they can be a little short on delivery. So responsibility is not easy for them, unless it is wrapped in some type of very important ethical, you know, integrity-driven principle sort of matter. Then it's easier for them to kind of wrap their heads around doing this thing. But it has to be part of a bigger, more high-minded, grand plan. So there's that. The other things that Jupiter is not so great with, Jupiter will expand things, which can be good. And it can be bad. So Jupiter will expand things, which includes your waistline and your backside. So when you're taking a Jupiter transit to some of your personal planets, or through your first house, you may find that your waistline or your pant size is expanding. Because life is good during those times, you know, and indulgence and excess is not uncommon at that time. So Jupiter and Neptune, Pisces and Sagittarius have a lot in common because Pisces used to share Jupiter as its ruler. So Jupiter and the Jupiterian qualities are in many ways synonymous with Piscean qualities. So you'll see a lot of crossover. Try not to get too confused about that. And let me see. So I think that's a pretty good like overview. I don't want to get too much into this because we'll be here all night talking about Jupiter. But that's a good start. So right now we're just going to kind of go through Jupiter through the houses and things that you can look forward to in the coming year as Jupiter rolls through Sagittarius. Oh, so the other thing with Jupiter, with Pisces and Sagittarius, so Jupiter in Sagittarius represents, like, so we think of Bacchus, right? The Greek god of wine and partying and sport. And, oh, sorry, Jupiter also rules sports and athletes. So we tend to think of Bacchus as Jupiter, right? And the thing about it is Jupiter represents the grape or the vine that gives us the wine, right? And the wine itself. And Neptune represents the intoxication from the wine. So this, which is very good wine, by the way, this is Jupiter. The lovely warm glow that you get from drinking enough of this is Neptune. But they both are like this. So they're kind of like fraternal twins. So they seem like different things, but in reality, they're very close together and they're very intimately tied in terms of our experience of them and their functions. All right. Okay. All right. So Aries, so Jupiter will be traveling through your 9th house. By the way, folks, this entire year, Jupiter and Neptune will be doing a square dance with each other all year long, which is going to make for some complications. I am addressing that specifically in my Patreon page. It's only for subscribers. And it's $1 a month subscription. So that's less than a cup of coffee. So if you want access to that and other articles that are Patreon exclusive, you'll want to sign up at the Patreon page so you can get that information. So this particular transit with Jupiter and Neptune gets a little wonky. Some people are going to be really, really benefiting from this. Other people, not so much. But again, that's something I'm setting aside just for my Patreon subscribers. So if you want it, buy me a cup of coffee for the cost of a cup of coffee every couple of months. You can get access to that and everything else. All right. Jupiter, Aries. Jupiter will be traveling through your 9th house. So Jupiter, as it travels through your 9th house, will expand your sense of confidence and optimism and visions for the future. This is the time when you're really going to be feeling yourself in all the best ways. So look for inspiration and optimism, and certainly with Jupiter in its own sign, look for increased opportunities for a lot of either long distance travel or even going back to school. So higher education may be on your mind. For those of you who have legal things that are going on, that will definitely be highlighted this year as well. But I'm not going to necessarily say that that will go so easily. More about that on the Patreon page. Taurus, Jupiter will be going through your 8th house. So Jupiter, money, what is it? Your mind will be on your money and your money on your mind. What is it? Oh, I'm a horrible singer. Never mind. Anyway, it's an old rap song. So Jupiter going through your 8th house is definitely going to make you a baller this year, or at least want to be. So resources, shared resources, investments, long-term security, insurance. These are the things that are really going to come to the forefront this year and should be taken seriously and examined. So you're going to be going through some big changes this year. Holy cow, Taurus, you're going to be going through the changes. And I don't mean in a traumatic way. This is going to be you really, like Madonna, like reinventing yourself all over again. Or Lady Gaga, I guess it would be the most recent one that does that. Wow, it's going to be a year. It's going to be a year like no other you have ever experienced. Okay, Gemini. Jupiter will be rolling through your 7th house, which is going to be, it's going to be good and bad. So it will literally expand and explode anything that is in your relationships that needs to be addressed. So if things are going well, then it's only going to get better this year. If things have been kind of cooking along and not going so well, it's not going to get any easier. All that stuff that's been a problem is really going to be on the table between the two of you. If you have been ignoring things, you and your partner have been ignoring things all this time, there's, sorry, back spasm. There is no getting around it now. For those Geminis who are single, lucky you. This will be a very fruitful time for left swipe, right swipe, Tinder, whatever it is your thing is that you're doing to meet people. However, I will say, all that glitters is not gold. And remember, Jupiter and Sagittarius promises, it's long on promise, short on delivery. So you're going to have a lot of options that will look really, really good. But once you get under the hood, you may find that there's not a lot going on. So try not to commit to buying anything until you've had a chance to take a second look, maybe even a third look, and get a second opinion. Just saying. Cancer, Jupiter will be going through your 6th house. So this is going to be a very busy year. So lots and lots of activity and lots of work that just needs to get done and taking care of business. And this can be a powerful year for those of you who are working on diet regimes or physical fitness or healing or recovery, anything that has to do with improving the quality of your life. This is the year that you'll really be able to get it down. So should be good. Should be good. And Leo. Leo. Jupiter will be going through your Majesty's 5th house. So Jupiter will be rocking and rolling along in your personal house. So it will literally be like your best friend, best cheerleader ever has come home to hang out with you, hun. This is going to be just an aces kind of year. So if you can dream it, you can be it. Just there are other things, so you don't want to go too far overboard, but rest assured you got things in your corner this year that are specific to you, because Jupiter is in your house, the 5th house. All right, Virgo. Jupiter will be in your 4th house, which is going to make your home situation good, bad, and everything in between. So for those of you who are looking for better living conditions, either by improving them or finding new ones, this is going to be the year where you're going to have the most opportunity to find some really good projects, especially the ones that need a little TLC. For those of you who have space and you're looking at renovating or remodeling, or even redecorating, Jupiter rolling through your 4th house is going to put that home improvement bug in you. But I would, with Jupiter and Sagittarius in your 4th house, I would pay very, very special attention to structural things for the long-term investment returns. So if you're feeling the urge to go redo stuff around the house, this is a great time to get in and take a look and see what needs more attention and TLC and maintenance that will improve the long-term value of your home. And again, for those of you who are looking, you're gonna have, right, here we go. You have a lot of opportunities to find some really, really nice digs and really good areas for yourself. But don't buy on first look. Libra, Jupiter will be going through your 3rd house. So you will have the silver tongue, the gift of gab, the gift of the Irish. You will be able to sell ice to Eskimos. However, one of the things that I would guard against with Jupiter in the 3rd like this for you is literally overextending yourself. So schedules are going to just be crazy all year long. You're going to be so busy. Phone calls, emails, driving here and there, appointments, people, like a crazy person. You're going to feel like a Gemini on steroids. So time management and really focus. That's going to be a big, big order of the day for you to get anything successful out of this year. But if you do, you can move mountains. Scorpio. Scorpio. Jupiter, you sexy beasts, will be rolling through your 2nd house. So this is going to be that year when you're really all about the money. Now, here's what's different for you than for Taurus. So both of you are really, really going to be about money this year. It's a big deal, like a very big deal. So you're revisiting a lot of stuff. The difference is with Taurus is looking at self-transformation and really making big changes in who they are and how they're living and from the ground up reconstruction, because this is well above and beyond money. It's just that money is a necessary evil that kind of catalyzes this. For you, on the other hand, this is definitely about your earning ability and how you can do more of it. So you're really feeling, that Midas thing, like, how do I turn this what is it, this bale of straw into gold sort of thing. So you'll be very lucky this year where money is concerned. But again, try not to overextend yourself, because Jupiter does love to run long and take risks. And while you do have the luck of the Irish on your side, when it comes to your finances, you don't want to press your luck. Just saying. Sagittarius. Jupiter is at home in your sign, in your 1st house. So Jupiter and Sagittarius is going to make you so Sagittarian and so restless and so beside yourself. There's just not enough world for you to conquer. And many of you will start actively, honestly thinking about space travel. you know, or as close to it as you can get, because you're talking about expanding your boundaries. What is it, the James Bond movie, The World Is Not Enough? So Jupiter in the first house, man, you're really feeling yourself. So you're going to be out there and doing and living large, and the world's going to be loving you back. So well, I mean, with everything, be careful, but mostly, mostly enjoy yourself, because this is your year. And also, I would say, with the whole territory expansion, the wandering you like to do, please try to remember that you do have a home, and that sometimes you need to go back, or sometimes you need to maybe not wander so far, or you're not going to have a home to go back to. So, pro tip, Sag, pro tip. Capricorn, Jupiter is rolling through your 12th house. So this actually, you're going to be one of the signs that actually gets the least amount of problematic stuff from this Jupiter transit. Thank God, right? Now, what will be interesting with Jupiter rolling through 12th is that it will, because you're such a cynical, pragmatic sign, like you're very much about the real world. You know that as well as anybody does. And Jupiter rolling through 12th, this particular year with Jupiter and Sagittarius rolling through 12th, it's really going to have you thinking about the bigger picture and more mystical, magical things. So all those things you've thought about and kind of dabbled with and entertained with, and were really not so sure you wanted to buy into it, mostly because of the people, you know, that were peddling it, right? Because, you know, the metaphysics, spirituality, aliens, psychic phenomena, all that stuff, like it tends to pull in some real interesting characters, which for you is fine. That's just not necessarily people you want to be associated with. But this year, you're going to feel that bug, and the door is going to open for you to walk through. So many of you are really going to find yourself being compelled to actively get in, both feet committed, to start exploring this. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys soften up and join the ranks. All right. And Aquarius. Jupiter will be rolling through your personal house, the 11th house. Whoopee. So this is actually going to be in many, many ways a very magical year for you. So I would look for all sorts of unexpected and outstanding surprises. Literally miracles in the 11th hour, lucky coincidences, serendipity, synchronicity, all the magical, mystical stuff, right? So pennies from heaven. This is going to be a really positive year for you, and you can get a lot done during this time if you navigate it correctly. So be open to miracles that you can't explain. Just be open. And Pisces, my little bitty fishies. All right, you gorgeous little goldfish. Jupiter will be rolling through your 10th house. Now, what is significant about this for you is that your personal ruler, Neptune, your other ruler, is in your first. And remember, Jupiter is your ancient ruler. So you have both of your rulers, ancient and modern, in angular houses in 2019. And they're very actively engaged with each other the entire year. So while this is typically problematic for a lot of people, it's not, this particular combination this year is not going to be easy. You guys, this is a very, very special year for you, because both of these planets are both your rulers. It is your ruler, your modern ruler, and your ancient co-ruler. They're both angular on your chart. So this year could prove to be a very pivotal year for you in terms of getting recognition, getting assistance, getting support, and really turning the ship around. So I am very excited to see what comes out of this, because it's literally anyone's game this year. But if you put the effort in and you do the work, like for everybody, because Saturn's in Capricorn all year long, if you do the work, the rewards are there. So, but this is the year when dreams can come true. So there you go. All right. So that is the Jupiter, little mini Jupiter and Sagittarius video. So it's 30 minutes. We're really pushing it. So a couple of things, boys and girls. There's more information about navigating this Jupiter Sagittarius transit this year, as it also pulls in Neptune, big stuff, and the other planets involved on the Patreon page, but you have to be a subscriber to get access to those particular pieces of article writing. It's $1 a month. You can afford $1 a month. It's literally, you're buying me 2 cups of coffee for the year. Like, you can afford that. And the only reason I'm charging that is because, honestly, it's a lot of work, and you can afford to buy me a cup of coffee. The other thing is, if you are interested in a reading, please reach out to me by email. I do have a phone line that you can use from anywhere in the world. So international calls can be taken through there. Your payments, whatever currency you use and whatever country you're in, you can use it through this phone line. They'll take care of all of that, and they're not going to charge any weird, I don't think, any weird conversion fees or anything, like currency conversion fees or anything like that. So we're not using PayPal. I will not have any of your information. And you will only get charged when you are physically connected with me. So if you don't actually get me on the phone, you don't get charged for it. So you're not going to have to worry about your money laying around in an account somewhere and you're like, well, I ordered this reading 6 months ago. It doesn't work like that. So do email me so I can give you some information about how to get the most out of your reading and the information I need so we can set that up for you. Because it is a phone consultation, but it has to be scheduled. Okay. And the last thing is, this is a very brief overview of what's going on. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment page below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And certainly share this with people that you think might benefit from, you know, kind of looking ahead into the future. And just so you guys know, we have cleaned house on the channel. So now the videos are organized. And they're listed by playlist. So if you're looking for something specific, you can go to the playlist and look for the group that it is under. So old monthly horoscopes are all in their own playlist. Current event discussions are going to be in their own playlist. So if you don't want to talk about current events or politics, you don't have to, because it will have its own playlist. It's not jumbled up anymore. Astrological notes, like little Astrology Basics 101, all sort of stuff, they're on their own playlist. We've got it all organized. Yay. And I am working on video editing and putting some projects together, but these things are, who knew they were so time consuming, right? And I'm currently in the process of writing a book, not about astrology, about something else. So that's kind of taking up some time as well. Lots and lots and lots and lots of things going on. So I am doing my best to try and keep up and get you guys the material that you want, you need, that you'll benefit from. Thank you so much for being patient with me and supporting me by being my subscriber and liking my videos and talking to me and sending me comments. And that's it. So if you have comments, questions, suggestions, put them in the comment section below. If you're looking for a reading, reach out to me by email so I can get you the phone number and all the information that I need ahead of time so that we can schedule your phone consultation. It's cheap, by the way, super cheap, because I want everybody to be able to have access to readings, not just people who can drop $300-400 like it's nothing. Everybody should have the ability to get a reading when they need it. So there's that. And again, there's more information specifically about the Jupiter-Neptune square that we're dealing with now that Jupiter's in Sagittarius and Neptune is in Pisces. But that is in locked subscriber content, exclusive subscribers on Patreon. And that information Patreon page will be down below as well. So it's going to be, wow, it's going to be a year. It's going to be a year. For some people, it's going to be an amazing, outstanding year. And for other people, it's going to be a little challenging. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a little challenging. But for everybody, because Saturn's in Capricorn, if you do the work, if you are in it to win it and you're doing the work and you're doing the things that Saturn requires of you, you can get the most out of this year, no matter what it's doing for you. Okay? All right. Talk to you later.